You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined. You're listening to Black Hollywood Live. And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am your host, Derrial Christon. Thank you for joining us this first week of November. Can you believe it? The holidays are officially here.
Man, I bought my tree last week.
I already hung my lights up.
Tree?
Dang!
And I already watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
I did. I watched that on
the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just watching the Target commercials just pop up now for the holidays, so I'm still trying to catch up. But joining me today is the beautiful Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
DJ Jesse J.
What up?
And our very special guest today is an actor everybody knows. You see his face. He's on everything. Mr. James Black is with us today.
What's up?
Welcome.
And we got the Ohio connection, so I'm hyped. Ohio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really crazy actually that the holidays are officially here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still trying to kind of go off of Halloween. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just tripping. The year's over.
I mean, the year's
when
over.
the holidays
And I know
come,
I
it's
say it
like
every
that.
year, but this year I really do feel like
Yeah.
this year literally flew by.
Well, never worked
Flew
at
by.
a fabric store because I once worked at a fabric store and Joann's Fabric, to be honest.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Those are still around?
Yeah, they
yes,
are.
sure are.
One of
Those
those
are
are
very big in Ohio.
On the
Yeah,
Riverside.
and they're still very big. That's
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is, if you work at a fabric store, holidays are ruined for you because in July they are prepping for Halloween.
Yeah.
They're prepping for Christmas in
Wow.
August, and it just blows your mind. And it's just like,
Yeah.
where's my life going?
I mean, I guess you kind of have to
in
do that,
July.
I guess.
Right.
Because you're selling them them costumes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Well, we got a great show today. We got a lot of different topics before getting into an interview with James at the end of the show. But some of our topics include surgeons are saying that designer vaginas are on the rise.
I love that that's
What the
the
hell
one
is that?
thing.
The
What
first topic.
is this world coming to?
What is this world coming to? Halle Berry's exes are coming for her.
Yeah, they are.
Rachel Dolezal. Is
Yes,
it Dolezal?
it's
Or
Dolezal.
Dolezal. She admits that she
she's-
is a white woman.
Lord.
Go figure. Go
Something
figure.
And
wrong
a collective faint was heard around the world.
Around the world, and a moment of silence for her whiteness. Obama plans to aid former prisoners, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But first, we're going to talk about the BuzzMeter question from last week, which was, should the Spring Valley cop have been fired? You guys voted
100% of you
100% of you
voted.
All
said
of y'all
yes.
said
Everybody.
yes.
Everybody who voted said 100%.
Wow.
The world ain't as
Did you see
crazy
that
as I
video of
thought
the
it
Spring
was.
Valley
The
cop?
video when he flipped the
When
girl?
he flipped the
Yeah.
girl?
Yeah. And he got fired?
And he got fired. Do you
Yeah.
think he should have been fired?
Oh, yeah, long before that even aired.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They
Long.
knew he was bad when they hired him.
Yeah, they called him the...
Who's left?
Yeah, I forgot the name they gave him, but it was basically his reputation of being
a little
A little
aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah, what they
with
call him? They
students.
called him Dr. Flip or something?
Dr. Flip
Oh,
or
no.
something.
Oh.
Something in that
Dr.
realm.
Hammer. Dr. Hammer, that's what it was.
Dr.
Oh.
Hammer, yeah,
Can I
something
turn
in
mine
that
down? I
realm.
got a buzz in my thing. Which one is me?
It is a little buzzy buzz. Our
There we
buzz
go.
meter question for
Okay.
today is, are you excited for Tidal's exclusive original content, which is another topic that we'll be talking about today.
Okay.
But we're going to start off with trending topics with DJ Jesse J, who I'm happy is here because you were sick yesterday and this week, and you were in Florida.
I've left y'all in too many weeks already. I ain't
Yes,
leaving again.
you're lifted
All right,
up.
but we were talking about Tidal and the new original content that Jay-Z is going to be releasing, and it seems quite interesting. They're trying to get the numbers up. After they just did the Tidal concert, they want to capitalize into the original content. I know that they had done some stuff. Erykah Badu, there was a rap video that got released, but it was a movie that they had taken old Western
Yeah.
kind of legends and
Legends,
brought
like,
them to
brought it
real
all
life with an
together.
all-black cast.
Yeah, it was
That's an
cool.
original for Tidal, but they're going to be doing series. One of the series is actually called No Small Talk with DJ Cypher. They're going to release 3 episodes, and so what it is each episode highlights 3 comedians from a a comedy store in New York, and basically it'll be a sit-down profile, show some of their set, and then it'll be a sit-down profile with the comedians. Another thing is they recently got the second season to a YouTube show called Money and Violence. It's the season 2. It did very well on YouTube. They're going to bring it to Tidal, and it's going to premiere in January. What are you guys thinking? Do you think that bringing new content to Tidal is going to help get their numbers up? Are you willing to pay $20 for some
I'm still not
content that
willing
you
to
haven't
pay.
watched?
I'm not willing to pay still, but I think it's a smart,
It's a smart
creative
move.
thought
He's
to be
trying
like, the
something.
music is not working
Right.
as enough of a draw, so let's do something else. So,
Yeah.
try something different.
People
I mean,
are
go
going,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think it's a good attempt to beef up the content, which will make sense, for them obviously to,
Those prices.
especially for those prices. They're not cheap, but I mean, I'm still a little bit disappointed, but it's not their fault. But that Prince didn't show up to the last concert with Beyonce, Nicki Minaj.
He's on
and Jay.
Instagram, though. So
But
you
I'm
can-
just saying, he's on Instagram, but I'm still a little disappointed that he didn't go to that last concert. So in my mind, Tidal, even more so now, I'm still like, I don't know about
Side-eyeing?
you. I'm side-eyeing you, Tidal, a little bit.
Okay.
What were
What about you,
gonna say?
James? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that like you said, the music ain't happening, and so you got to do something. Just get like YouTube is hot,
Yeah.
and content of something a little quirky. Let's try it. See what happens.
I like the idea of bringing like a show that did well on YouTube. So now
Yes.
you know you're gonna have that.
Yeah.
You have an
Yes.
audience.
Smart.
Right.
Yeah.
The comedian thing is interesting to me because I mean we've seen like Diddy did the Bad Boys of comedy and whatnot. So I'm wondering what they're gonna DJ Cypher is gonna bring to the table. But as far as an audience, the comedy aspect interests me because Tidal is known for music.
Yes.
And the things that do well on Tidal is like Beyonce redid Prince's Darling Nikki
Yeah.
for Nicki Minaj. Stuff like that does well on Tidal. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go a music route like a profiles for music. But rumor is that they are going to do profiles with music and maybe athletes, but they're going to try the comedy out first.
Interesting.
So good luck to that. But
Are they having someone who is like kind of the key leader for the comedy?
DJ Cypher.
Oh, DJ
He's
Cypher.
the-
Okay.
From
He's
what is he from Power? Something in New York. I can't.
I don't remember
Okay.
his channel, but yeah.
All right.
Well, comedy sells, so
Yeah.
you want to laugh.
I mean, and if you're on your phone, I figured that maybe that's why, because
Yeah.
it's like you can watch quick little 3-minute
Yeah.
clips of
and you
comedians.
can show it to your friend.
And that
Right
works
there.
just in an audio space. So like, because like I'll listen to the Comedy Channel on Sirius just to just be riding in my car. So I think it's probably a good lane.
That's true.
To
That's a good
try
point.
to
Get you
see
through
what's
traffic.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're smart because I'm pretty sure you can get the first 3 episodes for free, even if you aren't a Tidal subscriber.
Well, that's good.
Well,
So there
that's
y'all
the
have it.
smartest
Giving you a little
thing.
candy for free. They're giving the heroin for free.
Get a
You
little
said the
taste,
heroin.
and then get
Why is it
hooked.
gotta be the heroin?
Well, I mean, because people are
Stuff
doing
that hook
crazy
you.
things out here. They're doing such crazy things that the newest fad, you guys aren't even going to believe it. Designer Vaginas.
You can buy those at the
Why?
stores.
They're
Where do you
like,
get them? Do they come to your house and like fit you for them?
they bedazzle them. Remember
Yeah.
the bedazzler?
They
They're bringing
do?
that
They're
back.
bedazzled.
That's
No.
gonna hurt.
Okay, so
Did I just say that? I'm sorry.
no, I mean I would imagine it would hurt.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till I tell you the names of
Well,
these
you
things.
just use glue.
So there are 2 really popular procedures being done.
Uh-huh.
And they've said what has kind of caused that 49% of women have gone in to get this done. And it kind of is coming from the whole yoga fad. Women want to look good in tight pants
Okay.
in all areas.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're
So-
trying to get rid of their camel toes.
Pretty
What?
much, yeah. So the number 1 surgery is, oh, God forbid my pronouncing this, and I'm sick.
Labiaplasty.
There you. Oh, you
What's
already
that
knew
look
this,
like?
girl.
Wait,
I wanna know what it looks
Courtney,
like.
You knew that real
Labia
quick.
Because I
Mean,
know what labias are.
She knows
I
what
have
her-
them.
I got a
Let
labia.
me find out. You getting bedazzled
I
over
have
there.
not bedazzled or labiaplasty, nothing.
So what
okay?
that is they adjust the lip size because some
Yes.
girls want them to look symmetrical. They want them to be smaller.
Yeah, I
than-
think a smaller lip is better.
Is that what you're?
So
I think
they
a smaller
do they
or medium-sized,
I thought
smaller.
people-
inject? They pull like fat
Yes,
out.
fat
Yeah,
tissue out.
They
yeah.
pull fat tissue out.
And I guess they can place it in other places. And then the other one is vaginoplasty, which adjusts the tightness of it. Now, we saw this on
Interesting.
Ease Wag.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, no, we didn't see like
But
an
we didn't see
actual.
it actually. We didn't see it actually getting
He was
done.
like, "Oh, you saw it."
Right. I was like, no,
I was
James.
there sitting there. Give me a scalpel, please. Go ahead.
How does that work?
And the age
Can you get a selfie with that?
the age group is 16 to 70 years old.
Hence the problem.
70. I'm sorry, that ain't gonna help me.
I'm sorry. At 70 years old, it's like, girl, you better just live with whatever you got.
Just let it go.
It's frozen.
And
Let it go.
Start planting the garden.
In 16, I'm like, well, this is a question only for you. Was your vagina fully like developed? Like, I don't know nothing about your vagina.
So that's the argument of why. I mean, obviously, why this is a problem.
Like, because Kylie Jenner's lips weren't even developed and she got.
It's a messed up sort of sense of. Okay, basically, what you're doing is trying to make your vagina into a pre-adolescent vagina.
Right.
So that is because I mean, your vagina, grows and you have babies. Your vagina gets a little bit looser. Obviously, you can do exercises and Kegels and things like that to keep it tight, but your vagina is not supposed to be the same that it was at 12 that it is at 35.
No.
So the idea that women are doing that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because,
that's a little rapey,
because you
Derrial.
push a watermelon through that hole the size of a grape and you tell me if your ish is going to be the same. But anyway, the whole point, like the bigger argument about it is sort of the idea that we are continuing to sort of, there's this whole article online, and I don't want to scare anybody, but there's an article online about a pedophile and whether or not that we actually live in a very pedophilic culture, and not just saying that men are pedophiles, but this idea.
That was a total inside joke.
Him when
total inside joke. Because he asked the question, well, why is your vagina not supposed to be the same as it was when you were 12?
Sorry.
But this whole idea.
Google me. There's nothing on that on my record.
Derrial is not a pedophile.
Just want to clarify that. It's a pedophilic culture. It's not calling you a pedophile, but saying that this idea that women's body parts are supposed to be hairless, they're supposed to be smaller, they're supposed to be tighter, and all the things that are characteristic of pre-adolescent women. And we are feeding into that, and that's why these things are becoming much more popular, because
I agree, 100%
that's who you are when you're 12 and it's tight and it's small and you have no hair. Like, that's 12 years old. Like, as a woman, it's not supposed to be that way. But now we're trying to grown women have come to believe that somehow there's something wrong with it as it is as a grown woman. And now we're adjusting for that. And that's what's kind of scary.
Yeah, but isn't it, I mean, I hear those points, but isn't it also just the world's infatuation with youthfulness anyway? I mean, there's a
difference between youthfulness and your youthful sexuality. So, like, yes, we want to look great and feel strong and be strong long into our lives, but when you start to turn it into what we do sexually, that sort of changes the connotation. You're not just looking good. Like, your sexuality is supposed to develop as you get older and more mature. Yeah. But you're not supposed to be holding on to your pre-sexual self.
Okay, I have
as a sexual being.
Right.
Because you don't want a 10-year-old to be sexualized.
Question.
No, I mean, I still think 16. When you said 16, I wasn't expecting to be that young. I thought you were going to say.
But that's like because we're looking
at
Kylie
like, Jenner. How bad did people sexualize this girl? And then when she had 18, there was a countdown. No one cared about Tyga that he put in his song that he was screwing this girl, underage girl. It was like, oh yeah, Tyga. Like, go ahead, boy. Like, and we just sitting here like, oh, she's just a Kardashian. Leave her alone.
It's different.
Well,
she's had a different
life. You're a hater.
She's had a different
You're
life.
a hater because you can't afford a house at
things.
16 years old. Yeah, I'm a hater.
She has been exposed to different things, but that's something for us to look at and think, like, is that really cool that we have her out there like that, and that she thinks it's okay for herself to be out there like that?
And so here's my question, and this might be really ignorant and just I probably shouldn't even say it, but I always have to go there. But, like, I just feel like around my straight guy friends, they always say they want a fat pussy. So, like...
That was very specific.
I'm sorry.
That was
very specific.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Because I'm gay, I don't know, like, a fat pussy, so it wouldn't, like, getting the labia pasty thing be counterproductive?
Opposite, right.
I don't
like, is thin lips in?
I thought that it's traveled. You don't want a road less traveled.
Right, but when you say real fat, like I get real fat, I'd rather it be moist and medium.
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 No, I get that. But a medium is like when you.
Yeah, I don't want it to be fat. Because fat, I think, loose.
But see, this is another thing. There's extremes.
It may just be
I feel like you're thinking in extremes. There's definitely situations.
I'm not talking like elephantitis.
Like, I'm sure there's definitely situations where, things get a little out of sink a little bit more
Right.
excessively than others.
Right,
But
yeah.
that's the rare end of the spectrum. That's
Right.
not like the in between that most
Like,
of
if you had
these people
6
are talking
kids
about.
and you want to get your stuff
Yeah,
together,
you know,
I'm
you
not
can say
mad
that
at
you're
you.
not
bit of
mad
that
at
is
you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah.
But this idea that like there's women out there who ain't had no children and they're like, oh my God,
yoga
I can see a
pants.
camel toe and they're a little too much. Let me get rid of that a little bit and tighten that up. Like that kind of stuff is getting.
I gotta ask a question.
I had to. You know,
Please,
so go
please,
ahead.
James, ask a question. Please do.
Maybe it's just me, but what is wrong with camel toe?
It doesn't
It's
bother
kind of
me.
like dick print. Like we promote it on Instagram. Eggplant Fridays. Like
You know where you are when you see.
you don't know what eggplant.
Is that bad?
Everyone knows what that. The game just released it. His damn
His
eggplant.
Oh, okay, all right, but fine. All right,
But I'm saying
let's go back-
it's
but
okay for
I
guys
don't-
to do it, but it's not cool for girls to
I don't
do
necessarily
it.
think it's bad to show a camel toe.
I don't see a problem with it.
All
So-
I can say is
so is this-
that it's sort of like
It's like a wedgie, right?
it's one of those.
Kind of like you know
things-
what you're gonna be working with.
You know where you're gonna be.
yeah.
It's like the beauty standards that we all sort of talk about that exist, but then most people are like, but I really like a curvier girl, or I would. We're feeding this some kind of way and saying there's something. If you got a camel toe, then your lips are too big and loose, and you need to do something about it. So that energy is out there some kind of way. I don't know if it's just coming from men. If it came initially from men, and then women picked it up and are like, yes, I need to do this to make it look better. I don't know.
So is that
but
the infatuation with the bald vagina?
the bald vagina?
Bald.
well,
vagina.
that I feel is
The bald
Yeah,
vagina is
the
very
bald vagina.
is male.
Yeah,
personally
I
believe.
agree with it. It's
I believe it's
personally
definitely
don't
direct from men.
like a bald vagina, but
I mean,
You
there
don't
are-
know actually what it is. I mean, if you see it and you're just like, oh, I don't know what that. What was that? Was that an elbow?
Oh my god, that's so funny. Have you ever seen the Instagram memes where it is like
yeah. It's like what? What is that? You don't have hair on your elbows, so you know where you are. I just,
Wow, he said an elbow.
and imagine if it had this.
Right.
Bitch, I don't know where I'd be on someone's chin like, hey.
Hey, let's go. Hey. No. You're really far away. You're getting colder. You were colder.
You're in the wrong. You're on the wrong street. You're
What
on the
map
wrong
are
street.
you using? I don't.
Yeah, where is this going?
You gotta.
Well, I don't know where this is going or that's
Detour.
going, but I
Detour.
know where y'all need to be going. Whatever your favorite TV show is, as soon as it's over, head over to our sister network, AfterBuzzTV.com. Whatever it is, I mean, we're going to do Real Housewives starting next week. Maybe it's Love and Hip Hop, Scandal. Whatever your favorite TV show is, as soon as it's over, AfterBuzzTV.com.
Thank you, Jesse. I still have the elbow visual in my head. So on that note, we're gonna move on to some gossip with Courtney Stewart.
I can't even breathe. It's an elbow. It's a chin. Like
I'm
what?
sorry, it is. You gotta tell me.
And now I'm envisioning Adele for some reason. I don't know.
Where did that come
Because of
from?
her cleft chin.
that-
Okay, moving on. You're just gonna let that go.
I thought you were saying she had a big vagina. That's what I thought you were trying to say. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Okay,
All right.
She sold a lot of records.
She did.
And she did. I'm sure she's quite thrilled with her vagina. All right. So
We need
can't
to
even,
ask
like-
her.
I'm sorry.
This is the day you want to come on the show, James, to promote your
sorry.
movie. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Hey, it's better
you
than
didn't know
last
what
week.
you were getting into.
I did not know.
Last week was gay porn.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Serious now.
We're gonna get serious now because there's something dreadful going on out
Yes.
there, guys.
Oh,
So in the Twitterverse this week, somebody we ain't heard from in like 15 years resurfaced and went to town.
Oh.
For those of y'all that don't know who I'm talking about, it's former Major League Baseball player David Justice. He randomly shows up on Twitter and does like a 50 tweeted tirade about his ex-wife,
Zola's Twitter story.
Halle Berry. Yeah, well, basically. All right, so basically background is from, I believe it was 92 to 97, or 96. He and Halle Berry were married. They divorced, obviously, and she moved on to Eric Benet. He moved on and got married. And the thing that has kind of always been in the atmosphere has been that right as they were sort of breaking up and she had a restraining order out on him, she did an interview with Barbara Walters in which she discussed her previous experiences with abuse with a boyfriend. And the world, Halle never said it was David Justice, who was her husband, but she also never said it was not David Justice.
Okay.
So many people who were like sort of around the industry and stuff like that, they knew, but like regular people, because I can speak for it, I was from Atlanta, I love the Braves, he played for the Braves, we were like, oh my God, David Justice beat up Halle Berry. So this whole sort of energy has always existed that he was the culprit of abuse towards her.
Right.
And now that Halle announced her divorce a couple weeks ago from her current husband, Olivier Martinez, all of that stuff from her past starts to resurface, and it's on the internet. Like, David Justice is the ex-husband that beat her up. Eric Benet is the ex-husband that had a sex problem and was cheating on her. And so all of that started to resurface, and David Justice has 3 kids right now. They're like 15, 13, and 11, I believe. So he decided that because now they have Twitter and Instagram and all that, they're seeing all this stuff thinking their dad, like, maybe hit. He was like, I gotta speak out, supposedly. Well, he spoke out a lot. And here's some of what he said, because I won't read it all because there's like 800 of them. He started out by saying, reading the latest Halle Berry reports, it wasn't me who hit Halle, causing the ear damage. Halle has never said I hit her. It was a former Hollywood boyfriend, parentheses, WS, that she told me, get your facts right. So he, with this WS, basically called out Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that was that's what I had heard before.
That had been the rumor, but like those are
for
for people that were sort of in the know, kind of knew that that was probably who she was referring to, even though she's never labeled him, so allegedly that's whatever. But he decided he was gonna label him and make sure everybody knew. And then he went, you didn't hear that from me, smiley face. He continued on. When she first reported that she had been in an abusive relationship, she wouldn't name her famous former boyfriend, WS, again. She was mad at me leaving the relationship, so she and her Hollywood team just tried to destroy my character because it had to be my fault, right? Yep, me, Eric, Gabriel, and Olivier were all her knight in shining armor until it ends. Then we will become the worst guys in history. It continued on. He continued on and on. He did write. He wrote a dissertation. He wrote a dissertation, and then Eric Benet the next day responded and said, quote, my man at David Justice is tweeting some truth this morning. And rumor has it that Eric Benet has gone on to say that a lot of people were like, yeah, he did cheat on her. He admitted to being a sex addict. But he's supposedly claiming now that that was a situation drummed up by her publicist. Yes, he stepped out of the marriage, but he did not have a sex addiction or any of that. And there were other things that she was doing simultaneously in the relationship, but he went ahead and took the fall for it in terms of saying he had a sex addiction and he got treatment for it and all of that, because at the time they were attempting to sort of work out the marriage. So he's saying that was a lie, and they both go on to basically warn Olivia, like, hey, bro, you about to be the same, like you're about to go through the exact same thing. But as of yesterday, apparently, Ms. Halle spoke out after she made her appearance on the red carpet on Tuesday. We saw her this week at the Black Women in Bond event for Essence. She did come to the red carpet. She did not do interviews because, of course, she didn't want to talk about this.
She looked beautiful.
She looked amazing. But the next day, basically, after all, because the David Justice thing had come out like the day before, and then she didn't want to do interviews. But then the next day, she apparently, through her people, somehow cleared up that it was not David Justice. But this is the first time since like 1997 that she actually says it was not David Justice.
Right.
And he then tweeted yesterday, thank you, Halle, for clearing it up finally. So that's their scandal for the week.
Yes. Does he have a lot of time on his hands? But yes. But am I mad at him for trying to kind of clear his name? If people were targeting their hands at him, I'm not mad at that. You know.
You don't feel like it was kind of catty because he sent like 500 messages? Couldn't he just like do one? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I was not the dude that beat her up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't need to be all those messages, but just
does media
one.
care if you just send out one versus?
No, they don't care.
That's
making a big deal out of
Because
it.
he made a tirade.
Like 15.
Because if he sent one tweet, I'd be like,
yeah.
Who even cares?
Yeah.
But now he sent a whole bunch of it. It's like, oh, what tea is there?
Yeah. So it became a tirade. So everybody was like, oh my God, David Justice went on a tirade. And people actually paid attention finally.
And what a coincidence she had an event. I watched too much Nashville, y'all, and you know my conspiracy theory.
What? She was trying to drum up
some sort of storyline or fan.
So people would take more pictures.
Yeah, honestly,
I ain't mad at that.
It's just kind of is. But when
I
you're using your past,
I feel like they would have done it anyway because she's already like filed for divorce. So the fact that she would be on the red carpet at all,
but doesn't it make it?
Like, oh my God!
It's Halle Berry if she comes to the event and she can't speak to anybody, but she drops a statement the next day.
I like it.
No, I feel like it builds up. I mean, I'm only going off of Nashville. This is what they did for Juliet Barnes.
Yes, that is true. That is
She
exactly
and
what
Britney
they did.
Spears. It's like
That's
they're
true.
crazy bitches, but you put the story on everyone else, and it's like, yes, we love the crazy bitch. Yeah.
Well, then going along with that, because you brought up the crazy bitch thing, there's another whole sort of section of social media that is doing a hashtaggery or whatever about slut shaming, and that they feel like the way that Halle Berry gets talked about in these relationships is slut shaming, and it's not fair because everybody always goes, yeah, they might have did that, but something wrong with Halle Berry. So, and then the whole commentary that she's the one that's sort of in the middle of all of this, so something has to be wrong with her. Whereas men get 5-6 divorces and marry multiple women. You know, Eddie Murphy got 5 baby mamas. Nobody's running around.
He's about to have another one.
Yeah, because that's the 5th one. Yeah. But nobody's running around being like, oh my God, he must be crazy. Like, what's wrong with him? But Halle Berry gets that label because she's female.
Well, she's the star.
But so is Eddie Murphy.
Well, he got.
Are y'all slut shaming him?
Well, he was on the
They're
red carpet.
shaming him.
Go ahead,
Did he
Jay.
hit somebody?
No.
Eddie Murphy?
Well, no, I was going
No.
to say he was on the red carpet yesterday, and they were talking about his girlfriend of 4 years is having a baby.
Yes.
But not everybody knows it because there's not a big story about
Yeah.
it. So maybe he would like a story. So maybe we can talk about all the people that he beat up.
I mean, that's the meme that's
Let's
going.
start a rumor.
No,
He beat up Tweety Bird or somebody. What's that one? Big Bird.
Big
A Big Bird. I was
You
like,
got
Tweety
Big
Bird is the casting director, right?
Right, yeah, she is.
I was like,
She-
that would
No,
be-
that's
that
Twinkie.
would be
Oh, Twinkie.
crazy.
Oh, that'd be
It's
Twinkie.
Twinkie
Twinkie
Bird.
Right,
Twinkie
Twinkie
Bird.
Bird.
Yeah. All
That'd
right.
be a
Well,
story.
there you go.
He got cast in the
Well,
movie
he
and
did,
they beat her up.
but Eddie Murphy did get a lot of backlash with the Mel B thing, with the not claiming the last daughter. So he did have.
But no one's going around calling him crazy for having all these women and broken relationships the way that they do women, like Halle
see what
Berry.
you're saying.
I hear you, but my only flip side of that is that there has also been, each time there's been a story about these guys. Like there's a story about David Justice, there's a story about Wesley Snipes, there's a story
But
about
that's further
there's
proof.
a story about
Why is there
the
always
last
gotta
model
be a
who's the
story
baby's
about
dad, or
it?
whatever. Gabriel, there's a story, but I'm saying there's always
It's either these guys are really bad, and she needs to figure out what internally is causing her to
her
find
to
these
choose
men.
these type of men.
Because girl, I
Right.
feel you. I'd be doing that to myself too. I have not had one good relationship. Every relationship is something fucked up that I'm doing. That I'm going out and finding
You
these
need to find yourself. You need to look
motherfuckers.
yourself in the mirror.
So you know what I'm saying? I feel you, Hallie.
But
We
I'm
get
saying
on
it has
Herbalife and
to
we can
be.
be
I
hit
just always say when things like this happen, there's always a center nucleus to it, and she's the center nucleus to it. So I'm not saying that all these things are some are fabricated, about her or whatever. But she is, every time she is ending a relationship, there's always some big drama around it. And not everybody who's a celebrity who gets divorced and has had 3 multiple relationships has drama around it every time they leave that relationship.
How do you know? Is
Well,
it
it
just
hasn't been
because
in the
media
media.
doesn't pay attention. But somehow
media
because
cares
she's
about
female,
Halle.
they care.
Nobody cares about anybody else.
Everybody cares
It's
about
all about Halle
Halle Berry,
Berry.
though.
I only cared about Halle Berry the other night when we saw her.
Well,
at the
whatever
Black Pride
drama
event.
there is around Halle Berry, she's
Teams who
drinking
walk
that
by
real
David
good Kool-Aid
Justice.
because she looked damn good
I
in the
mean,
midst.
She looks younger.
all
She
the
looked
drama.
she
you
looked
go.
younger.
It don't
this
seem to
week she did
phase
before.
her at all. The
No.
skin is still right. The body's still tight.
Yes, it is.
Good job, woman. Keep it up.
job.
All right.
Wait, pause. But was there a rumor about Eddie Murphy hitting a girl?
I've never heard that.
No?
No.
There's a meme going around right now about his new girlfriend, and then the meme is him looking over in the corner, and then it zooms in on his fist, and I was like, does he have some like?
Oh.
I'll have to
No,
look in
that's
deeper.
weird.
The only rumors I knew about Eddie were the gay ones.
Yeah, I
but
never had heard
I
that
never
either,
heard
but
anything about abuse.
I'm gonna have to
anyway,
look that up.
well,
Yeah.
good luck and congratulations, Eddie, on your 9th child.
Yes.
Moving on. Speaking of
Got a
birthing
basketball
babies. He does have a whole basketball team.
He got a
Except
lot,
one. Someone's
yeah.
one. He could
Play
play
soccer.
On it. He could play on it. Yeah. All right. So our favorite white black woman.
Oh!
Is that right?
I
white,
love that girl.
Black woman. Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, nice hair.
For some reason, and I was feeling the weave. She was on The
yeah,
Real this week.
yeah.
Yes, she is also pregnant right now.
She's pregnant?
She is pregnant.
Oh, I saw that clip. Okay,
Wait, didn't
go
she get
on, go
divorced?
on.
Or didn't she get a divorce?
I
or
mean, we
something?
don't really know,
Oh,
but
okay.
like she's pregnant, and she got asked, "Is the baby gonna
Is the
be
baby black? So that mean the baby black?
Lonnie Love, you're great.
You gotta love
That was
Lonnie.
amazing.
Lonnie
So
Love.
for whatever reason, they decided she deserved an interview, and I think it was just because they were going to try to force her to at least say that she was white, and it was really awkward to watch. Did you guys get to take a
Yes.
look at
Yeah,
it?
it was really weird.
really awkward to watch, but.
It was like Lonnie Love telling this girl.
But then they were
about
trying to
herself.
like, but then she was like, and then Jeannie Mai was very like, so actually, can you think about saying like why you thought about, like, it was like a therapy session meets, they were trying to be, I don't know, it was messy.
Rachel's
But anyway,
great.
Rachel was very like elusive for most of the interview. She wouldn't really directly answer anything, but some highlights are as follows. So she finally admitted that she was born white, which is the big headline of she accepts that she was born white.
Which we knew that already, but
We knew that.
thank you, Rachel, for clarifying
Her
that.
parents have, since seeing the interview or since the interview got viral, I don't know if they actually saw it, have said like that is hopefully the road to like recovering their
Saving
family and
herself.
saving redemption in their family and sort of pulling things back together, because they were very hurt by the fact that she would not want to be white. In addition, Miss Rachel Dolezal compared herself to compared her plight to that of Caitlyn Jenner.
What?
And y'all, I really want
I didn't understand that
I
one,
really
though.
want to explain to y'all like what she was trying to say, but I still
Please
can't
do.
figure
Oh,
it
you
out.
can't figure it out.
Like I
Yeah.
can't figure it out.
Please,
And
yeah.
I rewound it a few times, and I was
Yeah.
like, honey, what the hell are you
I didn't
talking
understand
about?
that
It made
part.
absolutely no sense. But essentially, I think what she was trying to say is that we all get to decide who we are to a certain extent, and those of us out there should not judge and just accept whoever we decide who we are. And since she's decided she's black, damn it, she's black.
She's black.
Moving on. All right. She
Oh, you're going to move on from that?
Well, I'm moving on to more highlights. of
Oh,
that
okay.
interview.
I was going to say something.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was asked a few times which box she would check. For those of you all that don't know what that means, like if you ever have to fill out like federal forms and certain things, if you ever took standardized testing, they usually ask like, are you white? Are you black? Are you Hispanic? Are you Asian Pacifica? Are you black
Or
with a
other.
white, Asian, whatever, and other and all whatever?
I feel like she checked other.
Caucasian.
She checked other.
I feel like
going
she's
for
other. I'm moving other.
No, she talked around that one too. And what she did finally say,
She checked black.
she jumped and said that, well, when I applied to Howard, like the boxes weren't there, so I didn't
Wow,
have to.
she said that,
And
yeah.
then they came back and said, okay, well, if the boxes were there, what would you check? And she still turned it around and was like, well, this one time in West Africa, I made that up, when I had to fill out a sign about blah, 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 they had listed on there white of Euro-Asian descent and then black, but of Afro.
Yep.
It was of Afro, human something, whatever it was. The caveat.
We
was,
made this way too complicated.
No, but no.
Human on her
Way too
application.
But wait,
I'm
but
human.
this is what she did. She said the caveat was that basically the way they parenthesized that, it was explaining like if from the mother continent, and her explanation was we all from the mother continent, so I'm definitely African, and I checked that one.
Okay.
So that of all the boxes that she checked, that was the one that she checked. Then she said the biggest thing that she said that really had everybody like, oh no, she didn't, especially Tamar. Tamar was very upset. She said that she's walked the experience of a black woman. And Tamar took super offense to that and was like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, there are doors you can walk in that I can, and blah, 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 blah. And Lonnie spoke up and was like, you know, I can't take off this skin. You
Right,
can.
yeah. Right.
And the woman said, and Rachel said, well, is it really true that there is a singular black woman experience? Because if there isn't, then I'm entitled to mine.
Oh!
Which, as a person that, you know, argues and debates on a regular basis, she kind of came for them. Like, that was a good,
That was
because
a good
comeback.
there is
That
no
was a good
singular
comeback.
black woman experience,
No.
and she has, as long as the cops, because the cops pull her over and they check black on her ticket apparently, just by seeing her. So she has experienced the world in her fake blackness that she made
I'ma
for
give her that.
herself as a
I'ma
black
give her
woman.
that
For
statement.
this.
Let me ask you something. If I run on, let's say the NBA Finals, and out of the stands, and I grab the ball and I shoot it during the game from the stands, and I make it, does that make me an NBA player? No.
No, but if you have been to the practices and you have played in a few of the preseason games, and then y'all in the finals and you out there on the court as the point guard, then are you an NBA player?
Well, it's almost like, remember when Tyra put the fat suit on, she experienced what it was like to be overweight?
Yes.
Like, I mean, she actually had those feelings. She had
the
attack
people
on
treated her that way. So whether or not coming from the inside was authentic and honest,
She got him with
what
that singular experience.
She did, because what people saw was a black woman. Whether she said she was black or not, they saw her
And
as
here's
a
why
black
I'm gonna say
woman.
that I can kind of see where she's saying with that is because when you see different shades of women, even you'll see two black girls, but the darker skinned black girl will look at the light skin and say, you don't know what it's like, for certain struggles that I have. And then the light skinned one's going to be like, well, you don't know what struggles I've had being light skinned.
That's true.
So, I mean, to sit it like that, but bitch, now everyone knows your deal, so.
I mean,
But they
we
still
all know
booking
the
her.
deal, but they still booking her,
her.
and it's fascinating. And she really, straight up for that whole interview, like that one comment was probably the only like legit comment that she made, because for the most part, she was just kind of like.
Yeah, what I saw, she was dodging all the
She
questions.
was dodging everything and not really answering anything, but she did answer that, y'all. So there you have it. Rachel Dolezal, born white, now black.
All right.
Living her experience.
Living
right.
her black woman experience. With her black
Where
baby
they
on the
selling
inside.
tickets at?
Black baby.
That's
Yeah,
a
black
Rider
baby.
Universal.
Having a black
The
baby.
black woman
You
experience.
know she gonna have a
Hate it or love it, y'all. It's reality.
It's reality.
Where's the daddy at? I want to know what the
We
daddy
don't know.
said.
They didn't
Yeah,
talk
he's
about
real
it.
quiet too.
He ain't say nothing.
He
Kids
probably
are-
embarrassed. He like, damn, I thought
That girl
for
crazy.
real.
He's like, I thought you was black.
But then again,
It was like that. I'm gonna
Maybe-
2 second moment when she started taking off shit. You're like,
Wait a
oh
minute.
damn, you a white girl.
she's just like, I haven't had a whole lot of sun down there yet.
That would have been the first clue.
Because maybe she was biracial.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe she had
some
one of
of
those operations.
You know,
Yeah,
maybe she had
the
a
best-
labiaplasty.
I don't know if there was a color.
The
She
designer-
might have
designers.
labiaplastied and then like tinted it because you can like color it down there.
Knowing her, I feel like she would have done all that.
All of
actually,
it.
Yeah.
all of it, every single one of those.
I mean,
things.
that's
She's
a good
stealing the
spray
fat
tan.
from all these other white girls. She's like, give me all your pussy shit.
Probably got a
Make my
weave down there
Now,
trying to overcompensate.
that was kind of creepy.
I don't know where that was going.
On that note, we're gonna move on to another topic.
Moving on.
But
Sorry,
before-
I'm on like so many like NyQuils.
But
Dayquil,
before we
They
move
gave
on
me
to
a
those
liquor.
topics, damn, that was weird.
DraftKings.
DraftKings. So, okay, we have James here. James, have you ever played DraftKings?
Nope.
All right, so this
Fantasy
is
football?
Fantasy football.
Nope.
You do fantasy football at all? Nothing. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, DraftKings.com. You got to go to this because it's an easy way to play fantasy football. There's a lot of prizes that you can win. Up to $2 million. $2 million for the first prize.
Right.
$1 million for the second prize, and up to $10 million
in other
in just
prizes,
various
cash
prizes.
prizes.
It's really simple. They got a little promotion going on right now where you go to DraftKings.com. You just the code name Black, no pun intended, and you just play your little hearts out with fantasy football. I played it a couple times. I'm not a big fantasy football person.
you win?
I did not win. Not yet.
Okay.
But I'm still going to keep trying because it's so easy to do that I'm going to keep trying until I win something.
trying.
Because
Maybe
with
I
all
should
those
play.
prizes,
I'm just gonna do it because I mean, they say you don't even need to know anything about.
you
football.
don't need to know
You don't
anything
really
about
need to.
football.
You're
And I
just,
do
like,
know
randomly
football, but
picking
I don't
football.
need to.
So I just
Yeah.
want to win money.
You
I
just
want to
wanna
play
money.
because the code name is Black.
Yes.
Just
I
because.
just want to
yeah.
support.
Because I
Code
might win.
Black.
You might win on
Yeah.
Black.
On Black.
Black.
On Black.
Yeah.
Always better.
So just remember, DraftKings.com, codename Black. Try and win you some prizes. Let us know if you win prizes. Actually, tweet us.
I know. If you
Let
win
us know.
something,
We want
I
to know
don't
what you win because
And then-
you may need to share
Right,
some of
because
that
if
money
you
with
use
us.
the
Commission
code
check.
name Black, we need a 15% cut.
Commission
We
check.
told you about it. It's a
Yes.
friend
It's like
benefit.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. All right. We're going to move on
For
to the
fantasy football.
Fantasy football, the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
No.
All right.
All right. We
no
don't get our sound effect again.
There
They
it
don't like
is.
our sound effect anymore.
It came. It's late.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so this story's been making headlines as well. Besides the Rachel story, have you ever flown on Spirit Airlines?
I have.
Worst fucking experience of my
Never
life.
again.
Yeah.
Them and Virgin.
I was like a bus. It was like a bus experience.
Yeah.
Like,
It was worse than
Greyhound.
Amtrak.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
it
say
was
like the Asian bus from here to
Greyhound.
Vegas.
Okay.
Or
like
that bus in
$10.
Mexico with the chickens.
Yep.
That's
they
what that
asked me to
was.
fly the plane. I was like, I'm getting off.
You was like, I'm a parachute out.
I was like, can I get
Yeah.
some water? They were like,
Please,
nah, we ain't got none.
You didn't get that before
Well,
we took
I freak out if I have to fly on an airline that's called Spirit. It's just something about that just doesn't.
Oh.
I don't know.
I never
really
even
like
thought about it like
yeah,
that.
that's the way I thought about it when I first.
See, I
was
thought
like,
it would
the
be a
cheap
pleasant
prices.
experience
Thanks
because it was
for-
called Spirit.
I know.
Yeah, no, not for
Daryl,
me.
why
I'm
you
thinking-
I'm like spirit of positivity
I'm thinking,
and goodness.
yeah, I'm
and-
thinking the
is
other
like,
Spirit.
had spirits.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, they've had some demons this week for sure with this airlines because apparently this week a flight was taken off from LAX and they were going to Dallas.
Yes.
And there was a little bit of commotion on the plane because there was a black couple that had assigned seats on the
yeah.
plane.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there was a woman in one of the seats that it was an overbooked flight. So there was a woman in the seat of the black couple.
Yes.
The flight crew tried to handle the situation. They ended up moving the couple into like 4 rows ahead. But the couple was still pretty perturbed about the situation. So they later on decided to just get on another flight and, go their own separate way. But within that commotion, the flight crew actually experienced another set of kind of commotion with a set of 7 other black people that were on the plane that were overhearing what was going on during the commotion with the first couple. They asked, the flight crew says that the black people, the 7 black people, were causing commotion. They were being loud on the plane. They were talking about the situation, making other guests or other people on the plane uncomfortable. They said several times they asked them to kind of stop talking about the situation. I guess things built up, and before you know it, cops were on the plane escorting the 7 people off of the plane. What? So here's a little clip of a video that was taken on the plane during the incident.
Passengers kicked off a plane overnight. The flight attendant says they were being unruly. They claim it's because they're black. ABC's David Curley is at LAX this morning. Good morning, David.
Morning, George. Police are telling this started over an overbooking of a couple of seats. It escalated to 7 people taken off the plane. They say it was discrimination. This cell phone video captures the tension escalating aboard the Spirit Airlines jet as passengers are boarding the flight from L.A. to Dallas.
We have witnesses this man wasn't causing any kind of problem. We have the flight attendants being rude.
Police say they were called by Spirit Airlines after an argument broke out over a double-booked seat.
Say, sir, you must get up and move. He got up. They told him one time he got ready to get up and move. And the flight said something smart out of his mouth, and the guy said, "I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to me." And after the guy said that, he said, "Well, sir, you need to get off this flight."
Police escorted the man and his traveling companion, both black, off.
Little clip of what happened on the plane. Apparently, there were tweets that were sent out from other passengers. A person by the name of Tyler Grosso tweeted, tweeted, "Cops kicking them off the plane for being black at Spirit Airlines." And apparently the airline crew said that they felt threatened by the couples that were being escorted off of the plane. So right now that set of people are claiming racial discrimination. There has not been a lawsuit announced yet, but something tells me there will be soon. There will be soon.
7 of them.
7 of them. So you guys saw that video. What did you think? And after hearing this story, what did you think?
Well, it threw me back real quick to, like, a lot of people be like, "Oh, you don't know because it was just black." I was like, it's not about just them being black, but it's about in public spaces as black people. I know I will speak for myself, but I believe most black people, whether you're in a restaurant or something, when you have an issue with service, the way you deal with it is you don't always get to be as upset as the white dude can be.
Right.
And you don't get to express it necessarily, even if you are, well within your right and well within reason. I'm not saying like, oh, you should be cussing everybody out and getting in people's faces, but anytime a black person gets elevated in these public spaces, oftentimes, whether we are elevated to a place of unacceptability or not, we are perceived as unacceptable and some sort of threat. So to hear the flight attendant say, oh, they felt threatened, it doesn't surprise me because literally we just had a situation with JetBlue. My boyfriend was on a flight, and he had a seat, and there was a woman sitting in his seat. It was an aisle seat. He's a 6'2", like fairly large dude. And she was like, "Oh, well, I want to sit by my son." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, where's your seat? I'll, whatever." But her seat was a center seat, so it wasn't like a switch. And he was just kind of like, "I can't do a center seat. Like, I'm sorry." And it wasn't a baby. The child was probably 15 years old.
Oh, that's not a child.
And so he challenged it to a degree, but he was like, "But I had to pull back because I can't be the angry black person because she was so like, well, I don't understand. People do this all the time. Like they switch seats all the time." He was like, "I understand that, but you were in a middle seat, and I paid for an aisle seat.
He paid for that seat."
But he fell back and was like, "All right, okay," because the flight attendant came along and was trying to be like, "Ma'am, please, can you move to your seat?" And it was a white woman and her child. She made such an issue about it, and the flight attendant was like, "Well, there's some extra foot seats, extra space seats in JetBlue available." And the woman was like, "Oh, there's extra foot seat." And then suddenly it was okay for her to possibly move, and he was like, "You know what? I'll take it." I'll just pay for the upgrade to sit in the extra room seats and you can stay right here. And she was like, oh, well, okay, fine. And then she sits back down after making it. But he didn't press to like make her move out of his seat because he didn't want to be in a situation like this where they're like, oh, we're because large black dude, he's former military, like he's assumed threatening just by standing there. So he toned it back down and took it and swallowed it, even though he would have liked to probably bite that woman's head off and whatever. So I feel like that's probably a similar situation to what they were doing. Like they got elevated because well within their rights, but the idea that they're black and they're elevated, angry black folks.
People.
You know what? I'm listening as you say that. I am sure that those 7 black people were not the only people that spoke up, but they were the only ones escorted. Let's see who said something. Oh, all the black people, but you white people that are actually louder, can you step out of the way so we can get these people back here? Yeah. I'm sure that didn't happen.
And if it was only white people that were upset about a situation, they would probably not be kicked off the airline. So it's kind of like, really, why are we
Listen, so many, these stories, I've heard so many of these different stories of just people trying to take, sit in your seat. And I've had friends who always say, oh, yeah, same thing like you said, Courtney, like your boyfriend. I don't want to get upset. Forget all that. I paid for my seat. Move out of my seat. And if you want to kick me off of the plane, then yes, I'm going to cause such a commotion, and I am going to be the one who will sue your ass for doing that. You know what I mean? Because your first right is to be able to sit in your seat.
Well,
you pay for that seat.
You pick
Flights
your battles,
super expensive
but
as it is.
The airport is also a very specific space right now because I have another friend that was actually arrested from the airport because of a dispute about his bag that anybody else under any other situation probably would not have been arrested, but he was arrested and taken out because the airlines have a certain amount of leeway to make their decisions about who's disruptive or what's a problem on a plane because of the nature of the country right now and what we have going on in the world in terms of security and all of that. So it's easy for them to be like, well, maybe it was not that big of a deal, but the idea that it might be a big of a deal gives us the right to do whatever we like on this plane. So yes, you might feel like I can assert all of this and all of this, but it's one of those choose your battles. Like if you got to get to work on the East Coast and this is causing a problem, putting you in jail and dealing with all that is probably not worth it. Right. So it's just a difficult space to be in and existing in general. But if it's like at the restaurant and whatever, I'm gonna let you know, like whatever. But sometimes you got to get where you got to go and whatever. But they suck.
Yeah. Well, let me find out.
Don't fly Spirit anyway because they suck. Yeah. And I bet them flight attendants were jerks because everyone I dealt with was a jerk when I was on my plane. It wasn't a one nice one on that whole plane. Really? They looked at you like,
why are you here?
You got a bag? Yeah, I got a bag. I'm traveling.
Which they will charge you for all of them.
Oh, they charge for all of them. Like, you got a purse? Oh, we charge you for that. Yeah. You got a bag to go overhead? Oh, we charge you for that. And, whatever.
You brought a Ziploc?
And then they get an attitude, like, if you're trying to put it, they're not like, oh, let me, push the... You need to hurry up. You're not pushing that up there right. Well, could you help me?
Wow.
No, but you can hurry up so this person can go. Like, they were really rude on the Spirit. Like, really
Spirit
rude.
need to find the Spirit.
Well, not the Spirit. They need to find a spirit of somebody that's positive.
Sort of I don't know. I only know the Spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's the ain't
spirit.
that the.
That's mine, the.
That find the version that exists for you because y'all crazy and rude.
Well, that story will be developing more. I'm sure we'll be hearing more.
I hope they get.
Let me find out. We need to start the hashtag Flying While Black.
Flying While Black.
Same thing as anything else. Driving while black.
Can I share a story when I was eating while black?
Yes, please.
I was at it was a golf outing when I was in camp with the Browns. It was preseason, and we went to a highfalutin golf course. And I walked in and I sat down next to my agent. And the waiter walked over to me and said, "The help eats in back."
Wait, what?
Wait,
No,
what
he did
year was
not.
this?
It was in the 80s in Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
And I was eating with my agent, and he said that, and I looked at him for a while because I'm like, there is no way he's talking
serious,
to me.
Right? Yeah.
There's no way he's serious. So he goes, "Yeah, the help eats in back." And I looked at my agent. And I continued eating my burger, and I said, either you get him fired or you're fired. So quickly he came back and apologized. And I will not.
Wow,
It was, And I was
just the boldness to say that to you, though. I mean, at
least you could play it off, right. Hey, is there anything else I can get for you? Or just to kind of get an idea, like, is this a guess? Like, if you already prejudiced enough to wonder, like, at least be slick about it. Don't just be like, Negroes
he
in the
came
back.
up-
Like, what?
I was like, what? Oh, man.
Did he get fired?
He came up and apologized, and I did see him leaving that day.
Okay.
I saw him leaving. Now, I don't know if he came back,
Right.
but he left quickly.
Dang.
Because he had to leave quickly. Because as soon as I finished that burger and had on my
Yeah, you was
Popeye
ready.
string.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's going to be taken out.
Yeah.
Something's about to go down.
I'm going to run some sprints on you.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God,
I'm
we
just
gagged
saying.
on your
all my food
stupid
back.
mouth.
So, that's why when we talk about the spirit thing, giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, but it didn't seem like it had to go there.
Right. Yeah.
To call the police. I mean, they didn't have enough people flying the plane. There weren't enough people on the, hey, you know what? We need some extra seats here.
Right.
Why don't we kick them off right there?
Yeah.
They ain't going to say nothing.
I mean, until I see another video resurfacing up of the people acting completely crazy that got arrested.
Because it didn't seem like anybody was like swearing and
That's-
yelling
yeah,
and like
they
it
didn't.
just sounded like they were
Yeah.
like, oh, that's bogus. How you
Yeah.
gonna do that? That's not right. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like it was that kind of thing.
And
So,
volumes carry on planes anyway because you're obviously in the cabin. So it's,
Yeah.
We're going to show you.
right.
Yeah.
Nobody said I'm about to cut you if you don't let them people they see. Like, was somebody threatening? Did somebody say they had a weapon? Like, what made you feel?
Well,
threatened?
first of all, you can't have a weapon.
Thank you.
They already
You can't,
screened
yeah.
you.
Right.
How you going to be threatening? I got a sandwich.
Right.
You're black.
Right.
I have these liquids.
You're black and you are displeased with service and speaking up about it because
can't
God
do it.
forbid you have a right to speak up about the service you receive anywhere.
That's very true. Well, luckily none of those people got officially arrested because
Yeah.
then they would be qualifying for what
It's like the
our
wine
next
train
story.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Just like that wine train.
The wine
story.
train. We have President Obama who has ordered federal agencies to stop looking at prospective employees' background checks if they are a former criminal or have a history of crime. What he's trying to do is open up a new reinvention kind of program for people who've been in jail. They come back to society and just are able to live a normal life and become good citizens. So he recently spoke this week about his change, and these are some of the bullet points that he had mentioned about why he really wants this change to take place. He said this will actually help prevent crime because he feels like by kind of bringing these people back and reintroducing them and reintegrating them back into society, that they can live a normal life, obviously just like anyone else, even though you've had a history of maybe doing a petty crime or an unfortunate incident. He said make sure people are fairly punished for the crimes they committed, because we obviously know in this system there are a lot of people who are being punished for bigger crimes that should not be punished for the crime. It's made bigger than what it really is. He said most of these people are law-abiding, self-sufficient, good citizens, former inmates, so he feels like they can come back and really, come back into society and be great. And the goal is to, once again, to have crime down. So he really wants to change this program and help out, especially black males, and the way that they're perceived in society.
So it's like get rid of the felony box that you.
Well, a lot of
off.
times the felony that you get put in jail for is you were sitting next to a joint.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're in prison for 5 years, but
Yeah.
if you shoot up a black church, then, well, you might get probation.
Yes. Right.
So there's a lot of, I feel that there's a lot of folks that are in there that shouldn't be in there in the first place. So
Right.
when they get out, they should have an option of having that expunged or not. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
appreciate
amazing.
it. Yeah.
And then also, it's an interesting thing because do you think that you, as an employer, that you should not know all the history of, at the beginning, know the history
If
of
it's like
someone
a
that you're
jo-
looking
like-
at
Well,
who's a solid applicant?
I
Because there's
think-
like a catch-22 with it. Some
Well,
people
I feel like from what I read, it is you are permitted to find out that information. It just cannot be the initial interaction. So like one of the because the issue, like if you go fill out an application somewhere and you immediately have to check the box, I'm a felon, whatever employer, nobody has time or wants to deal with trying to figure that out. So they
Right.
just throw you to the side.
Right.
But if you don't have to present that information upon first meeting the person, you could meet the person, decide that based on your own personal judgment, this is somebody that I kind of feel good about. You find out after that, felony possession of marijuana or whatever it was. All right, that ain't so bad. I mean, they're not going to rob. Like, what they're doing here has nothing to do with that,
Right,
and I'm not
right.
comfortable with it. So I feel like, if anything, it just, like, opens the door. It doesn't necessarily mean it puts employers in a,
Peculiar or
difficult
dangerous
situation
Right,
that is
right.
the problem for insurance. Like, I can't get insured now because I got criminals working for me kind of
Right.
situation. So I think that it just forces people to look past just what they see on the paper immediately.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean what was on the paper isn't important and maybe something you should know eventually.
And also, if it's a petty crime, I mean, if you did a petty
Right.
crime when you were 17 years old and you're now 30 years old, why should you really be,
Exactly.
And that's
punished
the only
for
way
that?
we're going to stop the circle of crime, because if they get out and they can't get a job,
They're
what
gonna
do you
It's
keep
just
do?
gonna be,
doing
it's
it.
going to keep, yeah, exactly. It's going to be a spiral circle.
It's a circle.
Yeah.
So I hope, I think it'll be positive and good. And
Well-
he's letting a bunch of people out of jail.
Yeah, he just
anyway,
let 6,000 people out of jail
Wonderful.
that early. So he's,
Yeah.
he's really trying to enforce this rule and get people to change their opinions about things. So you know what, go Obama. He said he's been trying to do this for years. So. We obviously have seen him at the end of his term, but he's definitely trying to still make some headway before he leaves.
There's a side point. There's a judge in Pennsylvania that got put in prison for selling black folks that he put in prison.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Yes, I know what you're
selling
talking about.
black folks?
Well, basically, he put them in prison for petty crimes or trumped up charges.
Yes.
Yes.
And there was thousands and thousands that he would, because they make money for cheap
he was
labor.
getting and he was getting kickbacks
getting
from
kickbacks,
because the
yeah.
prisons are privatized. So
Yeah.
he was getting money from them to make sure that he was.
I think we
sending
talked
people
about
to
this
jail.
one time on This Week. Yeah.
And
I remember
the
that.
judge
Yeah.
got prosecuted, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in prison now. As
he should be.
He's with his friends.
He's with his friends.
And
all
all of
those
which
people
that he sent.
put in prison are like, hey, come on,
Hey,
sit next to
so
me.
glad to
Right.
see you.
So glad to see you, buddy. Sit down.
I want to be your cellmate.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go take
That's
a
my
shower.
best friend. That's my best friend.
Yeah, and that's the one guy, but don't get it twisted. That is not the only one.
No, not at
he
all.
got caught in
There's
this whole
many.
idea that this prison system, the way that we operate it,
Exactly. So those people that were put in prison unjustly should be able to come out and get jobs because they shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
That's true.
And
Exactly.
and Mr. Obama, I think he knew a little something when he did
He always
that.
does.
he's got a
Yeah.
clue.
He's
He's got a clue,
Smart
even
man.
though they want to
Yeah.
say otherwise.
Right.
All right, well, that concludes our hot topics and all of our topics from today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But before we leave, we want to talk to Mr. James Black about this new thriller movie coming out called Man in 3B.
Man in
Shocking
3B.
us.
Yes, I
3B.
saw the trailer for this,
Yes.
man. It has a lot of things going on and a
Gotta-
nice ensemble cast as
Oh,
well.
Yeah,
man.
really good cast.
It was fun because, Jack A. and D.B. Woodside and Kalita Smith and Billy D. Williams.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
go there, Vaughn, son. Why are you doing that? Come on over here. I was on set and he would talk and I'm like, oh my God, it's Billy D.
Does he still got the slick back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he got
yes,
it. He got
honey.
it. Most of it.
Most of it?
What's
Yeah.
left?
He got, hey, he
Did he have a
good.
Colt 45 too?
He had a Coke
zigzag.
45, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty good.
He looked good.
I
He
love
looked-
it.
Man, he's just on point. The movie is a couple of love triangles that are going on and a whodunit. So the man in 3B moves in and there's a fire, and the man in 3B, does he leave? Does he live? What happens? We don't know. But in between all of when he gets there and when he leaves, there's a lot that happens.
Yeah.
And it was not a Melrose Place.
It was not Melrose
No.
Place.
No, it was
It
beautiful.
was like Scandal.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of
Times
scandal.
3.
And you're,
Scandal.
Yes.
And you
Was
can-
that
on
movie
steroids.
Twa?
And Jack A was talking
Scandal
about-
had children. It would be this.
Oh, yeah. And Jack A was commentating on all of it.
oh, I know she was.
She was sitting on the stoop just going, he a fine young man. Ooh,
Yeah.
did he just smack somebody in the face?
Oh.
Ooh, I'm going to go up here. Give me a sandwich. I'm going to stay right here and watch all of that.
All the
But,
girls' panties just get wet. They just can't even wait in this building.
We have a theme today on this
I
show.
know.
You know what?
I didn't even mean for that. I was just the girls were
there-
just so excited because it's
No,
what's
I
his
know,
name?
it's just
Yeah.
funny.
The
It's
the
just
man
funny.
in 3B is
The man in 3 is Lamont
from Why Did I Get Married?
Rucker.
Lamont Rucker.
Billy D,
Yes.
Lamont Rucker, Jack A, Marla Gibbs, Rob Richard, our boy Rob Richard.
Yeah.
Lots of people in this.
Yeah, and there's a couple naked people in this movie.
Oh,
Hey,
naked people.
We
Yeah.
love
All right,
that.
we like
Yeah, we
naked
love
people.
that.
Yeah, I don't
We
want
like-
to give
we like
away the
naked
whole
people.
plot, but when this dude proposed to this other girl, he just happened to not have any clothes on.
Oh, okay.
Which dude was that?
Yeah, what's this movie?
What is his name?
Lamont.
No, not Lamont.
Robert? Rashad?
Robert.
Robert's always naked. We did an interview with Robert. He was
Chocolate
naked
Did,
in
did,
here.
did he show up with his shirt off?
He took his shirt
took
off for
it off
Courtney. He
for
did.
us.
For
He
Courtney.
did?
He did.
He
Oh,
showed
okay.
us some
He
abs.
did.
did.
You act like you surprised by that.
No, I'm
Like,
not
he'd
surprised.
Just be
if
like, shirt. He'd
if
be
I
like,
look like him, I'd take my shirt off right now.
I'd be naked and go on grocery shop. I'd be in Trader Joe's like,
How y'all doing?
Pushing the cart.
I got a coupon right here for a free one.
Are these free samples?
Boy. And now you play a character by the name of Ben.
Ben.
And what's your character all about in the movie?
I play a fireman, and there's a fire. So there was a fire, and the whole place burned down. So obviously, I didn't do my job.
Oh.
Right.
Or maybe I did.
Or maybe you did.
Maybe you did.
Don't know.
Sound like a...
But basically, I'm trying to keep my son on the straight and narrow,
Okay.
even though I have an affair with the woman down the hall.
Oh, goodness.
And yeah, she might have been married.
oh,
Okay.
my.
She might have been married.
Well, now, was that Marla Gibbs?
It was not
No,
Marla
I'm kidding.
Gibbs.
I'm kidding.
You're funny.
That would have been
Why that boy crazy?
Marla put it on you.
I had to throw that in there real quick, see if you got it.
Did he hear what I said?
I was like, let me repeat that. Marla Gibbs.
Gibbs.
All right.
She's a beautiful woman.
She is a beautiful woman.
And I would take her any day to be my bride.
I love that. That's a beautiful thing.
But the woman Trish Mann happened to be the woman who I am in love with and endowed with, and she, I believe, is married.
Okay.
And I have a son, so I should focus on him and not her.
Not a
but,
married woman.
But it's messy.
But yeah,
It's messy.
you know, I just, but I tell him what to do, but I don't do as I say.
Right.
That's not good.
Not
That's not
good,
good.
man.
That's not good. That's what gets people in trouble, I think.
I don't
love it.
judge though. I just played the character.
I like that.
As you
I like that.
should.
I don't judge him.
You
He
don't
did
judge
what he
him.
had to
He
do.
did what he could.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take care of stuff.
That's true.
Business.
But then if your
That's true.
son is doing what you doing, you judge your son, then you
Yeah.
have to judge yourself.
Yeah, I should have not done that.
Oh.
But then now you know that was what you shouldn't do.
But I did, and I had to fight over it.
And now it's a great movie.
It is a
And
great
that's
movie.
awesome.
And
That's
it
drama.
comes out tomorrow, November 6th.
November 16th.
And I know that you can just check the site, is what I've been told, to find out
Yes.
what local theaters you can go see it at.
Awesome.
It looks very exciting, so you should tell many friends to go see this. I
Just
like a
watch
good,
the
friends.
preview
yeah,
and like
And you'll be
it's
like-
sold.
it'll bring you in.
Sold off.
I love
Yeah.
a good like sexy action, or not action, but sexy thriller going on.
Yeah.
Sexy thriller.
sexy
I love
thriller.
that when you said sexy action.
Sexy, sexy.
That was like
Because
That's
that's the
like-
international
that's
sign for
sexy.
sexy.
Right, there's
right
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's like you just gotta move.
Look like
Just-
Borat.
you just
Sexy
shake.
action.
Sexy time.
Now you have been in the business for a while and have done so many roles. I
I've
mean,
done a couple of things.
What's outside of this? What else are you working on?
Let's see. I just did a movie with Tom Sizemore. There you go. And it's called Better Criminal. And I played a FBI agent.
Okay.
I say that because I read the script, but you know, why do I should know who I am? I played an FBI agent.
Okay.
And I got the bad guy.
Okay.
And
Alright.
James Hahn, who did you ever see Seinfeld?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the guy when they did the restaurant, and he was like, they did the whole episode in the restaurant, and he was the guy behind the maitre d' who sat you, whatever, and he goes,
okay.
Cartwright? Cartwright, yeah, my name is Costanza. Yeah, I say Cartwright, you know come. He goes, but my name is Costanza. Yes, Cartwright. I say Cartwright, you know come. You gave away my table? I'm sorry, I just had to do that. Was my favorite episode.
Yeah, listen, I felt like I was watching.
I
episode of
love the
Seinfeld just now.
standing for Seinfeld right there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
loved it, and James was in the movie. And
Did you make him do that for you?
I did.
Yes.
I did, and his daughter was standing there. She was in the movie too, and she's like, I can't believe, but he is such a great guy. He's like 80-some, a lot of life going on, and he's sexy too.
All right.
It's our new dance.
Yeah.
dance.
So I'm doing that, and what else? There's a movie coming out November 6th called The Man in 3B.
Yes.
And it's in a city near you, in a theater. So I'm doing that.
Check it
that
out.
And I'm working on producing a couple of movies, and you know, stuff that we'll have to sit down and talk about sometime.
Yeah, we're
But
gonna
it's
have
in the
him
early
back
stages.
for a
to come
longer,
back.
in-depth interview on Black
Yes.
Hollywood Live, so we can talk about his martial arts and playing the guitar and singing and all that fun stuff that he does as well.
I sang with
Singing.
Anita Baker once.
Oh.
Yeah, man. It wasn't
All right.
planned. She didn't know it was going to happen.
Oh.
Was it at one of her?
It was at
concerts?
one of her concerts in Cleveland at Blossom Music Center. And she was singing, and what's the guy on the keyboard? I forget his name. But anyway, I think Marcus Miller was in the band. But anyway, she was singing, and she goes, I need some people to come up here and sing on stage. And, you know, I had I've been in a lot of bands, so I got up there and I sang my high note, and I brought it down and I gave everybody a solo on stage. She gave it back to me and I'm like, take a solo, yeah, there you go. All right, break it down, and then you bring it over here like that, and they broke it down, and I go, everybody, come on, let's do it. And Anita's sitting there going like, what the hell?
He a conductor.
He's doing? I'm doing all the popping, locking and stuff and flying across the stage and doing my James Brown and stuff.
Is there a video of this? Because we want to show it when you come in for your interview.
I wish.
What song was it?
Was it Caught Up in the Rapture of Love? What was it?
I don't. You know what? After that, she said, "You're crazy," but sit in that chair and she sang to me after I was on stage. It was beautiful. And she said to me years ago, I did cry.
I would have.
I did because she was standing on my foot. No, I'm kidding. But she said, that's a bad joke. It's old too.
I still laugh.
But she said to me,
we all laughed. It don't matter.
And this is before I got into business. She goes, you, sir, need to be in the business. And I was like, well, if Anita Baker says so,
then you need to be.
I go ahead and do it.
Amen.
Because you can't say no to Anita.
You do not say no to Anita.
Caught up in the rapture. I don't know what she's saying. But
We don't know. She makes up her own notes and they sound really good when she does it.
Nobody's saying
You're gonna have
like
to perform
Anita.
next time.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh,
'Cause now I
yeah.
really want to hear you
We're gonna
sing.
have to bring
the guitar
And I
do
will
the
not
whole
sing back
thing.
up for you. So,
Yeah.
where can
We'll
fans
just
find you
do
on
all.
social media?
Let's see. I am on Twitter at James Black Actor. I'm on Instagram at James Black Actor. I have a website, jamesblackactor.com, and I'm on Facebook, but I think I'm at my limit, so you can follow me.
Okay. You'll find him.
And I am
him.
James Black, and I'm going like this on my page. So,
Courtney, where can fans find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
Boom, y'all can be up everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. James, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Tell us
Thank
about
you.
the movie Man in 3B. You
Oh,
got to
yeah.
check it out. You want a good thriller, a black thriller at
Black
that.
Thriller.
Shout out to Trey Haley because he's the director of the movie.
Yeah.
Good friend, lover, supporter of Black Hollywood Live. So we want to support him as well. Make sure you do that. And also go to the buzzer meter question, which is, are you excited for Tidal's exclusive original content? We talked about it on the show today. Want to know what you have to think about it? Let us know. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
bye. Thanks for coming.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.